on me again. He tried to sneak attack me. I saw him coming though. I saw him coming. What's up, everybody? It's Stefan here from Mods of Fame, and we are back with another video. It is super cold outside, but still got the Hellcat out. You know the vibes. Anyway, let's jump into the video. Let's go. Alright, y'all. So, man, you saw the title and you saw the thumbnail, and today we're gonna be talking about that baby over there, which is the twin turbo Hellcat, which is the absolute monster beast. We all know about that. What we're doing right now, though, is we're like almost 30 days out from the giveaway of this car. So taking some more pictures for you guys. I know you guys like to see what's going on. So we got some new Gap of Season sweatshirts now. So just taking pictures of the Gap of Season sweatshirt. You feel? Bringing it live to you, man. I'm really enjoying everything about this car. But it's a perfect opportunity to talk about what we're going to talk about today, which is, why did I go so far with this car? Why did I need to go so far? Like, was it really necessary? And it's crazy because we're driving this car right here, bro. I actually have a good time. This is a Dodge Charger RT. It is a wide body now, but it's still a RT in the fact that it's 370 horse, 390 foot-pounds of torque, and it's fun to drive. I enjoy driving this car. So then why, Stefan, do you need that much power? So this car right here started its life like every other Hellcat. 707 horsepower. If it's a newer one, 2020 or 2019, I think they started 717. But whatever. Point is, 700 horsepower is what this car started as. And the day that I picked up this car, I'll never forget it. At the time, we called the car Cheapokitty because it was the cheapest one in the country I found on the used car market. Today, this car is actually worth more than what I bought it for. Not because of the modifications, but because of the market and the Hellcat market, just where it went. It's crazy right now, you know what I mean? But when I picked up this car and I first drove it, it was amazing. Like, the power, everything. I was like, golly, this is really fast for a stock car. So I put it on the dyno, and the car dynoed, as you can see here, 664 wheel horsepower stock, right? That's a lot. That's a lot. You know, back in the day, like even when I was building my Vet back in the day and the car made 400 wheel, I thought that was amazing. But fast forward, straight from the factory, 664 to the tires, what this car was making. Took it to the drag strip. Best I ran just putting a tire on the car was an 11.5, and this is a stick shift. So Motor Trend at the time, and they advertised this car to do 11.7 seconds from the factory. I got 11.5 at 124 mile an hour. Brother, that's really good. That is really freaking good. You know what I mean? And I think the 60 to 130 on this car at the time was a low 9. A low 9 second 60 to 130. Stock, stick shift, as you guys can see. That's really good. Like, why do you need more than that? So, but it started out small, just like all addictions. It starts out small. It starts out with, you know, an intake. For me, it started out with a Diablo Sport Trinity tune, their 93 octane tune. I took it back to the dyno, and the car dynoed 694. It picked up 30 wheel horsepower from a can tune from Diablo Sport alone. No boost change, no nothing, just their tune change. 694. So I'm almost at 700 wheel now. Went out, did some more racing, had some more fun, lost a couple races, won a lot, but lost a couple. And I was like, okay, time to go a little faster. So then I added an intake. Then I added catless mids. Went back to the dyno again. Stock boost, just intake, catless mids, Diablo Sport tune. And the car made 719 or 720 wheel horsepower is what the car made. So I picked up a lot. So for those of you that want to know, there you go. Tune only, intake, mid pipes, car picked up from 660 to 720. Who's good at math here? That's 60 horsepower. Picked up 60 wheel horsepower. Fun times, right? Had a good time. Ran the car some more. Awesome. But then that sickness started creeping in where I just wanted more. So what did I do? Talked to Team Hellcat, got with my man Eric there, who's my tuner for a long time, and did initially a 280 pulley, as well as a race gas tune, 1050 injectors, ID 1050s is what I put on the car initially. And the car dynoed 802 wheel horsepower on the dyno, the same dyno that it dynoed 664. So now I got 800 wheel, and I'm telling you, 800 wheel, the car was absolutely amazing. No issues, no problems, fast for a car of this size and weight and manual trans. Fast car, man. But once again, that sickness kicked in. It came and haunted me again. Won a bunch of races, lost some races, but just, okay, we can get a little bit more. So then my next step after that was I dropped down to a 265 upper. Actually, no, I dropped down from a 280 to a 250. I went down to a 250 upper, stock lower, and straight race gas tune. And I think the car made something like 850, or a little over 850 or something like that, right? Ran the car, had a good time, went out one day, right? One thing that Team Hellcat always told me, that if I was gonna run this car with that 250 upper, that I had to run Q16 only. You can take your shots. You can take your pics, Cam. Green Visual, shout out to him, taking the pictures of the cars right now. That's my nephew, he be killing it, boy. Damn, look at my nephew, boy, he's swaggy. Woo! Anyway, that's my big bro. You know what I'm saying? Fitment Pros on Instagram. But what was I saying? So one thing he always told me, that if I was gonna run the car with the 250 upper, then I would must use 116 octane, which is Q16 octane only. Q16 race gas only. That's what we tuned it on. That's what I could only run. I think it made like 860 with that. And what did I do? I tried MS-109. Went out on a day that was very cool. It was cool, the air was dense. Car made another like pound to 2 pounds of boost. And what did I do? Blew the motor. I blew the freaking motor. Not paying attention, not listening. I blew the motor. But that means that it was on a ragged edge. With that 250 upper and, you know, pushing it the way I was pushing it, we had the red line set to about, I think 7,000 with a stock motor. Yeah, we was pushing it. And, you know, I asked my tuner, can I push it? He didn't want to, but I kept pushing him to give me more, and he did, and then I blew it up. This is what happens to the majority of us in this game. When it comes to speeding, racing, and all that kind of stuff, this is what happens, bro. We always want more. It's never enough. We always want more. Give me more, and it's a sickness. Then I blew my first motor. I was sick, guys. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I was absolutely sick because it was my fault. I did it. I asked my tuner, give me all the sauce. And he said, if you're gonna run all the sauce, then you're going to have to run all the race gas. And I didn't listen. So there you go. But this happens to a lot of us. Some of us do all the right things and we still blow them up. Because let's be honest, it's people blowing up these Hellcats left and right. These Hellcats is popping like popcorn because we sick. These SCAT packs, they put a blower on them, blowing them up. And that's for every other car. Mustangs blowing up like crazy too. Transmissions blowing up like crazy in them cars. Things blowing. It's just part of the game. It's part of the game. Every car, GMs, LS, I don't care what car it is. When you push them to the limit, it's not if, it's when. So, blew up the first engine. Boom. I'm sick. I'm not doing this no more. That's it. I'm gonna put it back to the way it was. It was perfect at 800 wheel. Never had a problem. You know, I could pretty much run any type of race gas I wanted to use, you know, or run 93 and just not really get on it. I was like, I'm gonna go back to that. Well, fast forward, you know, a few weeks later, I'm like, well, I'm dropping in another motor. I found a good deal on a stock bottom end. Team Hellcat actually helped me find that deal. We found a stock bottom end, put another stock bottom end in the car. Swapped over my heads, kept everything stock. And then what did I do? I asked for more. So then what we did was we put a ATI lower, 10%. And I then ran a Grip Tech ZPE 265 pulley. And we changed over to FIC 1200 injectors so I could run E85. We added a 4 dual pump fuel system, and I ran the hell out of the car like that. Ran it for the whole season, a season and a half. Like, I think I ran it like that for like a year and some change. I ran it like that. And when I tell you I didn't have any issues, I didn't have any issues. Ran the car, set numbers, went to Pocono Raceway with it, roll raced the hell out of it, had tons of races, won a bunch, took some L's. It's gonna happen. There's always somebody faster. And the car at that point was making about 950 wheel horsepower with a 265 upper, ported blower from Joker's Performance. I did their stage 3 port, which is everything. That's the ported bearing plate. That's everything. So all of the mods that you can do, added an ice tank. I had the whole 9. Car ran amazing. Could not believe that a stock motor, I was spinning it up to 7 grand, held together for a long time. But then what happened? I wanted more. Sickness. It's a sickness, guys. So what did I do? I had my beautiful ported blower. I knew it was worth money, so I pulled my blower, sold it, because I decided I was gonna go twin turbo. So pulled off my blower, put on my twin turbo manifold that I had got here, which is a beautiful piece. Amazing piece right there. Billet, all that good stuff. So put on my twin turbo manifold, but did not put on no twin turbos, therefore there was no boost. Said, hey, let me make some cool videos driving around without retuning the car. Oh man. And you can guess what happened. I end up blowing that motor. My plan was to put the turbos on the stock motor, because the stock motor held together for so long, stressing it like that, right? I was like, it'll be okay. Anyway, drove around NA without retuning it, flooded the engine with fuel, seized it, and boom, blew a hole through the side of the block with the slowest possible Hellcat in the world, because it didn't have a supercharger, it didn't have turbos, it didn't have nothing. Silly me. So what did I do? Hit up my guys at Steve White Motors, got them to send me a beautiful, amazing, crazy 426 engine. A 426 bottom end is what's in this thing now, with forged pistons, forged rods, Molnar crank, still steel crank, but Molnar crank, APR head studs, main studs, the works, basically the works. The only thing that I don't have is a billet crank, nor do I have billet end caps. Are the only things that I'm missing from this motor, and I don't have heads. I'm still running stock heads. So what do? It is now November. I get all the parts together. We start working on this car January of 2021, this year. We started putting it all together, putting the motor in, getting everything set up. Shout out to my guys at N-Track. They've been there from day one. Put it all together and, got the car on the dyno. Now it's time to do tuning. So I reached out to my guys at Dragon Tuning, my guy Brian McKinnon, because Diablo Sport, again, is the software that I wanted to run. It's the software that I grew to love, and when I didn't have it, I missed it. Therefore, Team Hellcat does HP tuners. Because I wanted to change software, I had to change tuners, and I went to Brian McKinnon, aka Dragon Tuning. Started out with this car, absolutely amazed. First pulls car makes on 12 pounds of boost, 860 wheel. I'm like, holy cow. 12 pounds of boost, by the way, is like stock Hellcat boost. No stock Hellcats make about 11 pounds of boost. Make 12 pounds of boost, 860. Oh my God, this is crazy. This is gonna be amazing. Worked through a lot of issues. This is something new. This is something that's not commonly done. Unlike doing your stock blower and putting pulleys, or even upgrading to Maggie or Whipple, all of that stuff has been done on these cars before, so that's nothing new. Doing twin turbos, removing the supercharger, completely new. So went through a lot of small issues, man, but one by one, in-track, myself and Drag-On Tuning, we knocked them down. We knocked them down one by one by one by one. The car was running now in February. I took it home for the first time, I believe the beginning of March. Took the car home for the first time. Holding it forth and just hold it. Made about 15 pounds of boost, made 950 wheel on 15 pounds, and I'm like, this is everything. I'm amazed. This is crazy. Take it home for about a week, break my first transmission. Crazy, right? Break my first transmission. Then got it back to in-track. What do? Slap another stock transmission in there, because I don't want the wait time. I don't want to deal with waiting to build the trans and all that kind of stuff. So threw another stock transmission in there. Got the car going again. Ran into a couple more issues. Throttle body stuff. Coating stuff. Just stuff that had to be redone. Rushed the car. Got it done. Took it down to Diablo Sports Horsepower Wars for the first time. Went out street racing for the first time in Orlando, Florida. Had a good time. Went out there with 15 pounds of boost is what I knew. Then I, had an option to go up to 18 or 20 or something like that. First car race, 12 to 1300 horsepower GTR. Actually got my clock clean. Crazy. I wasn't at that level. I wasn't at that level yet. You know what I mean? Then I raced my good guy Ryu 707 on IG. His car also in the high 900s, but he has my last setup, which is ported blower, upper, lower, ice tanks, all the good stuff, fuel systems, all the good stuff, but it's still stock blower. In his car, we ran and we had a great time. On 15 pounds of boost, it made sense. Him and I were neck and neck. As soon as I clicked off 20 pounds of boost, I walked away easy. That's just the difference of turbos, right? So he's running 21 pounds of boost with stock blower. I run 20 pounds of boost and walk away crazy because my car on 20 pounds of boost. In the Florida heat, that trip, that weekend in Florida heat, no fans, no nothing, on a dyno from VMP that they had a mobile dyno, the car made 1080. It made 1080. And back home, it made 1120 on those same conditions with fans and all that kind of stuff. So, the car makes about 1100 on 20 pounds of boost. So that makes sense why I could walk away like that. Now, get back from Florida, try to run it down the drag strip with no two-step, no nothing. Absolutely embarrassed myself. It's not ready for that. It wasn't set up for that at all. And I knew that from the beginning, but I said, hey, let me give it a try, whatever. Anyway, get the car back home from Florida, go out to do some more testing, and I break another transmission. I'm like, boy, I'm sick. Jeez. So, what do? I start calling around, hey, who can build me a trans? Who can build me a trans? I start talking to companies and they're like, well, what's your power? And I start telling them, hey, it makes 1100 on 20 pounds, da-da-da. They're like, yeah, we don't know if it's going to hold. I talked to RPM Transmission. I talked to Tick Performance. I talked to Granis Racing. I talked to all the different companies. And they all saying the same thing, that with the weight of these cars, it's still breaking the trend. So just, now all my friends, everybody telling me, Demonology, everybody telling me, just go turbo 400 there. Just go turbo 400. I'm like, I don't want that. I want a street car. I want a complete 100% street car, functional, no issues, like street car. That's what I want. So in the meantime, I have an event coming up. So what do? Slap another stock transmission in there. This is transmission number 3. Slap another stock transmission in there, and I make my first race motive event. Go to my first race motive event. And the car, when it was upper, lower, all that kind of stuff, making about 950. The car before, when it was supercharged, when I went to race motive, did 155 mile an hour. With the turbo setup, I was expecting way more. Got out there and discovered that something wasn't right. Car would not make boost. It would not make boost. I could not make more than 18 pounds. But on 18 pounds, the car did 159 mile an hour. So, whatever. I get it back to the shop. We change a couple things. We change wastegate springs. We put bigger duty cycle springs, thinking that that's going to fix it. You know, we try all these different things to fix the boost issue. We throw it on the dyno. It spikes boost real quick. Oh, we're good. What do? Ship the car out to Memphis. Gap Fest is what I sent the car down there for. That's with me and Demonology. Big race between Demonology and I. Now listen, my car at this point had only been on the road for all of 2 months. It was only like 2 months that the car was on the road at this point. If anybody knows anything about doing big builds, you know it takes a lot more than 2 months to get the car dialed in. Took it down there, got out there, it's 90 degrees, went to run the car down the track. What did it do? The same shit. Would not make target boost. 18 pounds again. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? I gotta race Demonology. So you know what I did? I sucked it up and I raced him anyway. Turned out to be decent. He walked me up top crazy, but was a decent, fun run. And believe it or not, like, closer than a lot of people thought it would be. But I was so mad because I knew. So I had to put a smile on my face. That was the longest drive home because I trailered this car from the New York area down to Memphis, Tennessee. End up driving the car. That drive home was so long, bro. I was just like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? X, Y, Z. Anyway, somebody, aka Vern from Intrack, and also my guy Frank with the E36, shout out to you, my brother, told me, Stefan, it sounds like you having boost leaks. Remember, I don't know nothing about turbos. This is all new. I'm like, boost leaks? Okay. How do I check it? You got to pressurize the system. So I found a system that works, that allows you to pressurize the system to find boost leaks. We hook up these couplers that pressure the system, start pushing air through, and it is leaking like a sieve. It is like, as soon as we're putting it in, it's coming right back out. I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. I went through all of this and that's what the issue was? Anyway, traced down the boost leak issues. Turns out some of my T-clamps that were plastic had melted, closed off the vacuum lines. Some of the vacuum lines had gotten holes in it from it. So I had to change everything. Change out the vacuum lines. Put brass T-clamps, not T-clamps, but T-valves that connect the two turbos to each other. Nerdy shit, don't worry about it. Point is, fix the boost leaks. Yes. Oh my gosh. Took the car out, felt ridiculously fast. Go out, do a 60 to 130, the car bangs off a 4.8. I'm like, holy shucks. The fastest I'd ever gotten before on a blower setup was like a 5.9, bro. Car clicks off a 4.8. I don't think y'all understand what that means for a heavyweight car like this, 4,500 pounds, probably somewhere around there. To click off with a manual transmission, to click off a 4.8, my man, that was crazy. So, and that was the crazy part, was I couldn't run full boost because I couldn't get traction. This is on the street. This is not on the track with glue. That's a big difference. I'm pretty sure if I put this car on the track with glue, it'll go even faster. Anyway, then I run it 100 to 150, car clicks off low fours, 4.0, 4.1. I did one, the car clicked off in the threes. I said, oh, no way a car this big and heavy. My goal for this car when I did a twin turbo setup was mid 5, 60 to 130, and low 5s, 100 to 150. I blew that out the water. I said, oh my God, this car is fast. Had an event coming up at Race Motive, went out to Race Motive. Car ends up setting a record for Hellcat, highest mile an hour ever in history at that event for a Hellcat at 166.85. So basically almost 167 mile an hour in the third of a mile. Hellcats across the country run half miles, and the majority of them run in the 140s and 150s in a half mile. This car clicked off a 167 in a third of a mile. ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. I'm hyped, I'm excited, but this is getting cold out here, so we're gonna continue this at home. Yo, my bad, guys. I had to run, so I had to come back and finish this part of the video a little bit later. But anyway, long story short, or short story long, point is, no one needs, really, honestly, no one needs a Hellcat. You know what I'm saying? No one needs a Hellcat. This car right here tells me all that I need to know about what someone needs. This thing right here, compared to majority of the cars on the road, it keeps up with or pulls away from majority of cars on the road with its Hemi V8. And it's funny because during this giveaway, I've seen some comments like, oh, it's only an RT. And I'm like, so it's only a car with almost 400 horsepower? I'm lost as to what you're talking about, because you're talking about a person who sees a SCAT pack and I'm like, wow, that's really, you know, those are cool, those are fun, but to me, you got to know that a SCAT pack feels like, as far as racing and stuff like that, not as far as the everyday driving, great car is phenomenal. If I think this is great, then I know a SCAT pack is even greater, right? But to me, a SCAT pack is like really slow. And honestly, at the point where I'm at now, a Hellcat to me is slow, but it's all relative. And do you need it? No, absolutely you do not need. God, this car looks ridiculously good. I cannot believe we're giving this thing away. All you gotta do is go to moddefame.com to get entered. Every $5 spent gets you an entry to win. Anyway, so where are we now? The car is a record-setting car. Unfortunately, we broke another transmission shortly after that event. Going out, doing pulls, dialing in, testing, getting better and better. We broke another transmission during that process. So finally, in the Hellcat, we put an upgraded transmission, but we found out quickly after some testing, it still needs more upgrades to the transmission if it's going to stay alive. I know that the transmission that we put in initially I thought would be enough, but it's not. It needs more. So we're going to do some more upgrades to that trans. We're going to take this time over the winter to really dial in the drive line of that car, because that's the only part that's missing. We finally got the engine completely dialed in, turbo system completely dialed in. It is absolutely amazing the way the car performs, the way it runs, amazing. The daily drivability of the car, amazing. So it is everything that I wanted. It just took some time. It took some time. But conversely, if you've never done a big build before, then to you, the time that it took a long time. For anyone else that has done a big build, they will tell you, mine was really fast. My build was really, really fast. And that's shout to, you know, N-Track, and shout to Dragon Tuning and Diablo Sport, and, you know, just everybody involved. Mantic Clutch, FI Inner Chillers, Steve White Motors with the engine, and the list goes on and on for the people that lended a hand and helped along the way. I mean, I couldn't have done it without you. That being said, for 2022, we only going bigger, badder, stronger. The car is going to get faster and faster. It is already the fastest. I set some goals for myself to be the fastest at certain things, and it has done that on Draggy. It has done that at Pocono Raceway, and I'm gonna do that throughout the country next year. TX2K, let's go TX2K. I'm trying to get an extra ticket right now. They are supposedly sold out of roll race tickets, but I'm gonna make something happen, man. I'm still gonna take the car, and someone is gonna sell me their roll race ticket because their car is not ready or something. So yes, I plan on going to TX2K this year, 100% with the Hellcat 2022. And as we close out 2021, man, I just want to shout and say thank you to my mod squad. Couldn't have done none of this without you guys. You guys stuck through. I know a lot of you guys, through the ups and downs, may have even lost some interest, but I understand. It's cool, but we back, baby. We back bigger, badder, stronger, and we built an absolute monster in the twin turbo Hellcat. So look forward to 2022, man. And moral of the story, it's a sickness. It really is. This big horsepower, this chase for more and more and more, it's a sickness. But there's other sicknesses that I could have that would be so much worse. And I don't have those. I don't have those sicknesses. I could be into drugs. I could be into gambling. I could be into alcohol. There are so many different things that I could be into. But instead, this is my sickness. Cars. I ain't hurting nobody except my own pockets. It's your boy Stephen here from Mod to Fame. If you like this video, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, share. Hit that bell notification so you don't miss no more videos going forward. Enter to win this beauty right here at modfame.com. Happy New Year to all of you if I don't speak to you or see you again before New Year's Day. Happy New Year. Much love. We out. We out.